What's up, guys? So I just wanted to make a quick update video on a trade that I made, well, tried to make today, I should say. So I was trying to short SNDE and I just couldn't get filled, so it was kind of shitty because I had to sit here and watch it basically break the levels that I wanted to see it break and go towards $3, which is what I kind of felt was going to happen up here. So I watched it out the gate. I was watching it in MXC. You can see MXC up here on the top. And MXC was pretty strong for most of the morning. So there was a little bit of hesitation on my mind to short right out of the gate because these are both energy stocks. So energy stocks were all kind of shooting higher early this morning, particularly pre-market. So with all that pre-market action, you can see here this went from $2.38 all the way up to almost $4 pre-market, or over $4 pre-market. And MXC did kind of the same thing, but it went from what, $3 all the way up to almost $8, or sorry, $11 pre-market. So that's 300% almost. And it continued into the open all the way up until 1463, and it did almost a double top there. You can see MXC. So that was an indicator of a short, and you can see even here with the VWAP rejection, you can see in the same kind of trading strategy that I utilize when I'm shorting, and that's to look for VWAP projections and then to look for the kind of downward stair stepping, which you see here, kind of the shoot down, kind of try to shoot back up, but then it shoots down again, tries to come back up, then it keeps getting beaten down. And that's where you want to be shorting, but you want to be shorting around these areas of the VWAP rejection where it comes up and then you see it reject from the VWAP. So anyway, so that's what I was trying to do down here on SNDE. And you can see here out of the gate, I kind of was just watching it. I thought about maybe going long around this area when it broke above the VWAP and held. But then as I saw it break below the VWAP and show weakness, I kind of was starting to look at this like a short. And then as it came back up here above $4 again, I was sitting there just waiting, sitting on my hands, trying to see where it really wanted to go, if this wanted to break out and hold above VWAP and then shoot higher, or if this was rejecting at the VWAP and then going to shoot down. And I kind of had confirmation in these areas when it kept trying to break above the VWAP, but it really couldn't hold those levels, as you see these kind of topping tails and doji candles that all shoot up above the VWAP but then immediately reject and shoot down. So it was right around this level here that I was trying to short, around $3.95 and $4. So if we pull up our order window here, we can see all of these orders that I tried to get filled, none of them went through. So basically every single one of them that I was trying to do, so you can see 1120, 1115, and 1108. I tried to short it at 383 and 390. So basically right around here, trying to short it at 390, probably right in this candle here. And then I was trying to short it at 393 in this area. And both times I couldn't get any fills, and I tried to short it again here, and it moved too quick and I couldn't get a fill either. So for numerous reasons, it kept giving me this risk review. So I think because a lot of these stocks were trading with such volatility today, they were giving a lot more caution towards the shares that you could borrow. So it looks like they had shares to borrow, but they were being very conservative. So even though if you look at the short margin rate, it's 150%. So even though I was only trying to short like 100 shares, which was only like $400, which was less than what I covered, and even was within the 150% margin rate, it still wouldn't fill the order. And that kind of pissed me off. It's like, why the hell, I pay for a service, I should be able to short where I want to short. Just because you guys think it's risky, I should be able to take that risk if I'm willing to accept it, especially if it's with my own money, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. But anyway, I'm not gonna get too bent out of shape. But it was a little aggravating, to be honest. So if I would have been able to get the shorts that I wanted anywhere in these areas, whether at 383 or at 390, basically I would have just sat on that all day, up down until these 313, made about 60, 70 bucks, maybe even more if I would have been able to get filled around the $4 mark, which I was trying to get short there as well. So the key here, though, is just understanding why I wanted to short this and understanding this kind of VWAP rejection strategy. And as I say, you can see the same thing here with MXC as it kind of goes after about 12 o'clock. You see it break below the VWAP, and then consistently it holds there. It keeps kind of pop up, and it does this kind of weak false breakout where it does break above the VWAP, but then just cannot hold. So these are the areas in which you want to get short. So around here in this like 1291 kind of area where you see it kind of pumping back up, but then not really with the same volume. And you see this kind of rejection towards the downside as it cannot hold above that level. So it proves to be a false breakout. And then you see it fade for the rest of the day. So that's the kind of action you want to be shorting once you see this kind of fail below the VWAP again, and then it cannot hold those levels. You want to kind of be getting short anywhere in this area, or even in this area here when you see it coming up and then rejecting, and then you see it break. And if you short here and you see it break this, you want to have your stop kind of 10%, so probably like somewhere around like 1350 is your stop, so you don't lose, you're not risking too much, because this could break out again and test these highs of 1460. But you can see it tried to do it twice and it failed. So this was already up almost 200% on the day. So MXC was overextended, but it still could have been a potential breakout if it could have broken that level. So you don't want to be shorting into a high upward momentum. But anyway, so getting short in this area is probably one of the least riskiest entries, because you can just put your stop a little bit above at this kind of $half level, 1450, and give yourself a lot of room, because it would have taken a lot of volume and a lot more kind of support on the long side for it to break those levels again. So you kind of putting yourself in a good position to kind of catch the short as it rejects the VWAP and then pushes down. And you'd see this immediately, because if it pushes up, then you want to just get out, because obviously it's not a false breakout, it's an actual breakout. But if it holds below the VWAP again, then you have confirmation that your short position is validated. And this is what was happening on SNDE, and this is why I was trying to get short in these areas, right around here, and then again around here. I was trying to get short in this whole area, because I knew that it was already rejecting, it was already showing weakness, and MXC was also starting to show a little bit of weakness at that time as well. So it just gave me a good position to get in on the short side. And unfortunately I couldn't get fills, but as you can see, the trade was still valid. And as I showed you my positions, I definitely tried to get positions filled. Like, I was trying to execute the orders. I wasn't just sitting there and then coming to you guys afterward like, hey guys, look what I made money on SNDE. I made a ton of money shorting it at $4. I didn't make any money on it, but I still had the strategy, and I still tried to execute the orders at the levels that I thought were the best to short it, where you had the most support and you had kind of a good short bias for the day, and it was showing you weakness, staying below the VWAP, trying to break above, but then giving you numerous false breakouts, and then kind of immediately being hammered to the downside. And these are perfect candidates for shorting opportunities. So that's just what I wanted to talk about in this quick video, is just kind of this trade that I was trying to take on SNDE, and obviously didn't get a fill. But at the same time, the strategy still holds, and this VWAP projection is a very clear indicator that you have downward momentum. You see these stair stepping downwards consistently, and then trying to break up. You have these two false breakouts, and then just downward momentum for the rest of the day. So this is what you want to look for when you're shorting, is you want to have confirmation. You don't just want to jump into a stock at any, you don't want to jump up in this level when it's trying to break out and maybe it shoots up to $6-7 or something, and then you lose, a bunch. You want to get into these levels where you have a good clear indicator, and when you short anywhere below the VWAP, your stop becomes the VWAP or just above the VWAP, so you can protect yourself from these false breakouts. And that's kind of my strategy. It's always 10%. Anywhere I enter, I give myself a 10% kind of leeway, or 10% swing. So whether it goes 10%, if it goes 10% upward, like to the against me, then I'll sell and just take the loss, or if it goes 10% in the favor, I'll usually start to take profits. So it's not a bad way to go, especially if you're kind of a beginner trader, or you're starting out with smaller size. 10% is usually, I think, a reasonable level. If you can go, a lot of these traders, they make a lot of money on pennies, and I don't have the share size. I don't have the large account in order to make money on 10 cents here and there. I need to catch 10% on a trade, and that'll give me decent profit where it covers my commission, and I can then, and I only look to make like a few trades in a day. I'm not trying to make like 100 trades, pay more in commission than I'm going to make in profits. And that's what you have to do when you're starting out, is understand how you can make money, understand why you should trade certain ways, and if you're going to be short biased, look for confirmation. If you're going to be long biased, look for confirmation. And on MXC, we did have confirmation to the long side early out the gate. So when we saw this big move up here, breaking above the VWAP, this was confirmation to the long side. And this is where you don't want to be shorting, is when you break above the VWAP and you have this consolidation and continues to break higher. And that's these levels where you don't want it shorting, and where you want to be very you want to be very long biased. Anything that's breaking above the VWAP and holding is showing strength, and typically you want to be buying. So any one of these dips towards the VWAP would have been buying opportunities, and there's where these are the positions you want to be long. And this is kind of the thing about strategies, is that everybody has their own idea, everybody has their own opinion, but in my mind, the VWAP is kind of those areas that you want to look for either strength or weakness. If it's trading above the VWAP and it's consistently holding, it's showing strength, and you want to be long biased. If it's constantly breaking below the VWAP and it's holding, you want to go towards the short side. And that's very basics of momentum trading and kind of my strategy. So I don't want to take any more of your time. Thanks for checking in on this video. Like I said, it was a short on failed short on SNDE, in which I just couldn't get filled. It would obviously, the short position would have held. I could have held it basically all day right into the close, or I probably would have sold anywhere around 320. All of my shares, maybe taking profits at 10% and then selling the rest towards 320. And yeah, that's the shorting game and how you make money shorting stocks. And if you have any questions, comments, please like, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. All right, have a great day.